Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another Friday, another live stream, another free online art class. My name is Efren Luna. Efren Luna with the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach and with Art, Music, and Culture. Today, I have a special assignment. I I almost finished this one. I may just need to add shadows, maybe some kind of ground for this one. This was painted from observation, with the idea of like just creating something aesthetically pleasing. So if you watch the last video, you can actually see how I copied in a real plant and just kind of simplified it there. I'm still working on the shadows, actually on this side, but I want to start something new. So I just wanted to refresh you on what we did last time, and I was gonna maybe I'll do the pair for this one, but not today. Today I'm gonna start a new assignment on this canvas, the same size as the prior one, which was I think it was 20 by 16 or something like that. Um, if you have a canvas out there or stretch canvas or anything that you can paint on, we're gonna do a drawing based on a not a request but probably an idea from a suggestion. Um, like when you're in art class, like in school or whatever, like sometimes some of the assignments are to copy somebody else's work, not to copy their style, but kind of like to just to kind of like expose you to different styles or different ideas and things like that. And one of my students, shout out to Michael Simpson, was following the class last week. He sent me this image. He sent me this image, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys the image. It's basically a painting. It's a really nice silhouette with animals in the foreground and trees, and it looks like a nice sunset with silhouetted shapes of animals. It looks kind of simple, but we'll see how long it takes. So the challenge, for me at least, is to try to do this within an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll see what happens, and but if we don't finish it, we can always work on it after the video. We'll definitely get started. So let me find my source. All right. So I'm gonna just put it up on the screen. So this is gonna be our source. In fact, let me see if I can. So I'll leave it there. Maybe I'll make it smaller so we can copy along. So this is somebody else's work. I'm not sure if it's not signed. So it made but in any case, shout out to the original artist or illustrator who created this. We're just gonna recreate this with the intention of of like just copying an existing artwork, and a lot of times most of the work I've done is from like original sources, whether they're photography or actual images. I'm glad that this idea came up, because as artists sometimes you draw other artworks, and that's okay too. But for this class, this is something nice that would probably will be nice for anyone to do, and I believe it's doable even if you have no experience. We just have to take it step by step. So let me switch to our other camera, so we can show you the. Let's see. All right, so we have a. Bear with me, folks. It's just me, and I don't have a camera person or anybody. So let me. My camera's acting up. Right. Reset that real quick. All right, so we'll wait. I'll just talk a little bit about the project. Let me put the image up so you can look at it. Actually, voila. Here you go. So that's the image we're gonna work from. So we're going to start. We're gonna with a drawing like this. You want to start from the background. So the challenge here is that the more or the if the paint the more that the paint is wet, the longer it's gonna take to dry. The black part, all the black parts that you see, we're going to do after the first part is dry. So we may have to take a little break. Uh, but I want to try a little, not a trick, but a little technique. I'm going to try to paint with dry brush, meaning that what that means is to try not to use a lot of water with your paint. And this is just for the simple purposes of creating this image a little bit faster. Remember, the more water you add, the longer the paint is going to take to dry. Now, this is acrylic paint we're going to be using, so it may take it doesn't take that long, but like I said, if it's wet, it'll take longer. Okay, so having said that, let's see. Okay, so now I know what happened to my other camera. Okay, so I gotta activate it. So I'm doing a streaming software, studio software. Here we go, and I have a low internet connection, so I try to connect one camera at a time. Anyway, so all right, so here we are again. This is my phone number. If you guys have any questions, if you guys have any ideas, all the paintings you see on the background there, I made live during this class, and many more that I have on the other walls, and some that I've sold already. Um, so so yeah, every painting you see here was made during this pandemic, a little over a year now. Um, all right, so let's get to here you go. So let me just show you this real quick while I talk about the next project. So this is it's not the final painting from the bamboo plant, but as you can see, I started to draw the shadows, and I think I want to finish this part. Probably not today. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. The white, I kind of like it. Um, I may I may not I may not I may not color the background. But if I do, I'm gonna choose like a contrasting color, maybe a red or an orange, to contrast the green. They're called complementary colors. Anyway, so let's get to our image. So let me add it down here. Okay, so here's my source. Okay, so all right, so this is the source that we're gonna be doing, and you're gonna need a canvas that goes horizontal, like this, in this form. Let me see. There we go. Trying to leave the image in here so you can see. Okay, that's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So we're not gonna do the drawing that much because the problem with this is that our drawing's gonna get covered up for the most part. So all I'm doing is creating the ground. If you notice the ground on the image is like below the halfway point. So remember, the halfway point you can always find out by drawing a very light X or envisioning it over your surface, and you draw a little dot, or just as long as you have a reference, this is the halfway point from the horizontal, and this is the halfway point from the vertical. This little dot. So my ground, based on that image, is gonna be maybe like half of one half, so maybe a quarter of that, or even less. So I'm just gonna do an estimate, so I'm not worried too much about that. And from the image, it looks like it's not. It's kind of like a not a flat line. It's just kind of like a circle line, not circle, but curve line. Okay, so the part of the drawings that I'm going to the part of the drawings that I'm going to leave out are going to be the animals, because I'm going to draw those later. The reason for it is they're going to get covered anyways. Maybe I'll draw lightly. By the way, I'm drawing backwards, so this is what my ground would look like. Okay, so you can see, you can barely see the line that I drew right here. So that's your ground. I made it a little more curved than what the image looks like, but it's okay. And then let me see here. All right, so the other thing, there's a big tree, like it's not at the center, but it's like a little bit off to the side. I think the back legs of the elephant are in about the center. So, I'll just draw lightly. And it's a tree, so it's okay how it comes out. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. I mean, in fact, trees are organic, so you have that extra. You have the advantage of not having to do it exactly the same way. And some of these branches, there's more, and I'm just gonna make my own branches, but that's the idea. I have maybe three major branches. And I do want to point out that the more time at least for me, the more time I give into a painting, the better results I get. So it's just something to know, because a lot of times, like I can make this exactly the way that looks, but because I don't have the same technique as the artist, it may take me longer. So right now I'm just trying to get inspired by that and see what my result is within an hour, maybe 2 hours. We'll see how that works. Okay, so this is the tree, the main tree, right? There's another tree that's coming off the side, but you can only see the branches, and I'm gonna just draw those. Those are gonna be like just black markings with the brush, and I didn't want to draw too much because it's gonna get covered up with the paint anyways. Now here's like a giraffe animal on top of this shape right here. There's different shapes that are actually plants. So let me just quickly. Okay. So actually, there's a small tree that I didn't draw that I'm kind of. Now, in my opinion, but this is when we do styles, like this is a silhouette image, and they have green, and it looks cool, but like if it's silhouette, if you can see the green, you can see other colors. So it's like it's more stylized than realistic, in my opinion, but it's really pretty, so it's okay. So this little smaller tree is green. In my opinion, it shouldn't be, but like I said, it's just a matter of like, styles. So here's a giraffe. then it's just gonna be the shape. It's gonna be challenging. I don't usually draw giraffes, but at least I have that image to copy. And I'm freehanding all this, so I'm not worried too much about. There you go. All right. Okay, it may not look like a giraffe at the moment, but at least I know that this area is going to be for that. The elephant, let's see. Okay, so the elephant is about right here. These are all just shapes. The trick to drawing animals, in especially like in silhouettes, is just focus on the shapes. Stop thinking about like, oh, this is an elephant, this is an animal, because you're gonna judge it from the first line you put on, and that's gonna stop you from actually working on the drawing. All right. So let's see. I said I wasn't going to draw too much, but I couldn't help myself, and it's going to get covered anyways. That's why I didn't want to invest too much time in the drawing. It's going to get covered up with the, oh, there's a tiny elephant over here. It's going to get covered up with the initial, with just coloring the background for the most part. But at least I can visualize the space that that I'm gonna need for my silhouetted animals. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna use orange, yellow, on a dry. Let me bring this up to the camera so you can see kind of what it looks like. See, it's not perfect. It's just an idea. See, my giraffe doesn't even look like. But I'm gonna shape it with the black paint. But first, I'm gonna throw in that background color. Oh, the sun. I probably want to do the sun, just so I can kind of start thinking about where my light is gonna come from. It's just like a circle. You see, there's a circle right there. Yep. And this is like yellow, but like really bright yellow. All right, so if your drawing didn't come out like the way that the one on the screen looks like, don't worry about it. Mine didn't come out like that either. That I'm copying someone else's work, and my challenge is to try to do this, within an hour, 2 hours maybe. So we'll start adding yellow. Don't add water to your brush. Only if you need to clean it, but don't add water, because we're trying to finish within this hour or two. So I'm gonna try to just start with the yellow base. So just cover as much of the sky as you can. Don't worry about if your brush doesn't fill all the spaces. You're just covering, kind of like, think about like if you were coloring, right? Like there's no water on this brush. In fact, if I need to use a different brush, I'll probably use a different brush. If you don't have a lot of brushes or you only have one, just clean it up if you need to, and try to dry it as much as possible. This is dry brush. I'm trying to get all this yellow. Don't worry if you go over your drying. It's okay actually. In fact, like I just noticed how you can see some of it because I'm not adding like a lot of layers. Just trying to cover the sky as much as possible. Another reason that I try to work fast, or at least within an hour, is because, you know, the classes, I used to draw one, or my first drawings would take me like 2 sessions, maybe 3. And I figure that folks want something they can enjoy within 1 session, because at the end of the day, these classes are designed for everyday folks. They're not necessarily, I'm not trying to train you professionally here. There's a lot of formal elements, and you know, that I talk about and things like that, but the reason for this class is so that someone who's at home can have something fun to do while we're still in quarantine, right? I know that, you know, things are opening up and things like that, but not everyone is ready to go back. You know, some folks like myself haven't been vaccinated, which is going to happen pretty soon. So we can get back in the groove of things in a responsible way. So this is kind of what it looks like so far. I'm gonna add. Man, it's like I'm gonna add red. I'm gonna add red. I have a different red than that one there, so mine's is more on the pink side, so it's gonna be different. Wow, way different. Okay, so I'm just adding like little streaks here and there. I'm trying to work fast before everything dries up, at least, you know, before the yellow dries up. Okay. Let me mix up more of the yellow from the, let me mix an orange. So on the palette, I'm actually mixing up a little bit of red, just a little bit of red, and then yellow to create that orange. I'm using a 1/2 inch size brush. See, my drawing's already getting covered up. So I'm losing my drawing pretty fast here. That's why I said I didn't want to invest too much time on the drawing. I just want to sort of leave out room for, which it didn't matter anyways. If I cover everything with the you know, with the background, it doesn't matter because the drawing's going to be silhouetted anyways. There's going to be black paint. But the reason for me trying to leave some areas with less paint is because I want to finish this within an hour, maybe 2 hours maximum. But I'm really trying to shoot for an hour. My camera battery only works for an hour and a few minutes. Mine is the time I was using to set up. So I only have about 1 hour of good quality camera before I have to switch to my web camera. There are a couple of reasons why. Anyways, that's. So let me show you. Well, let me just add more paint. This is really satisfying to do this. It feels real good. Don't worry if don't worry. Don't feel like, oh, mine's just looking different, or don't worry too much if like, don't judge yourself too much. Just keep working. If you don't like things, change them up, and don't make a judgment right away. Wait till you have more, remember, sometimes things take a little longer. I personally take a long time painting, so this is a challenge for me as well, which is all right. So I may throw in a little bit of brown in the sky, maybe, because it feels like, I don't know yet, but it feels like my red is not a. So one thing to do is make long streaks of paint from side to side, horizontal, long strokes to cover everything. All right, not bad, not bad. Let me turn this around so I can show you what I have so far. So this is a background. My red is not as dark as it is, but it'll probably look darker once I add the black parts. So for now, maybe I'll throw in. Let me see if I have a different red. Maybe a little bit of brown, just a little touch. I'm always cautious of adding black paint, because black paint is really strong. It's recommended that you use colors, even if you're painting black paint. Like, you could make black out of all the colors, right? Or a mixture of browns and reds and blues or whatever, all right, so I added a little bit of brown to my red. Now this is going to be fun. So I'm going to add this on the edges, kind of like at the edge of the canvas, and then I'm going to stretch that inward. So what do I mean by stretching that inward? Like, let me see. Maybe, okay, right here. So this edge right here, this is red paint with a little bit of brown. So it's red and brown. And I'm just kind of painting the edges. And then I'm stretching the paint. I'm not pressing too hard, just trying to stretch that into the drawing. It just has a hint of brown, but it's really red. So it's like a red brown per se. And then you can, while you're doing that, I'm using the same brush. I'm just trying to cover all the little areas I see that there's white. Alright, let's see. Okay, so show you what I have. All right, it says Derek Coleman says, hello, Derek. What kind of paint are you using? Acrylic. We always use acrylic because it dries fast, and for our purposes, it's easier to work with. I haven't. I know I talked about doing watercolor paint, but I haven't done it. So this is acrylic paint, and let's see. I kind of feel like I need to fill in the blank spaces. So I'm gonna add more yellow. Use a different brush for that. Let's see. So I'm just putting straight up yellow, concentrating on the spots that have, actually around the sun, it's pretty yellow. I think I did it darker than my source, but it's okay. Yeah, so I'm actually losing most of my drawing now with the more layers I put into the background. I knew that was gonna happen, but at least I can see part of the drawing. And I also have the source in front of me. So at the end, guys, I'm gonna draw with a brush those silhouetted shapes. So that's gonna be the next thing we'll do. All right. Okay, now I'm doing my own. Got carried away here with the sky. The original source, the sky is really like there's a lot of brush strokes marks. If yours is softer, it's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of white canvas I can see here, and I don't want to leave it just. I don't want to. Okay, I'll do as much as I can. Maybe another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So if you're doing this at home, and you know, if you want to take longer, you take your time. If not, you want to try to push yourself and work a little faster, it's okay. Like I'm doing here. Remember, if anything goes wrong, we can always fix it. So it's not like, it's not like there's no solution. So don't worry. All right. So now I'm doing red and brown uh, brush strokes for the sky, just to kind of fill up the sky. I might have to put a fan on this and have it dry a little faster. I'm not using any water for this. This is dry brush. I did mention that earlier. There's no water because my goal is to finish within the session, and like I said, if you want to switch brushes and you want to clean them, that's okay. I recommend you clean them like if you're using dry brush, you clean them just like this, especially for this background, and then just dip it into a different color, or because we're using just reds, brown, red, brown, and orange. In fact, you can put like little little brush strokes of brown just randomly. Try to go long so that they kind of blend in with what's there already, as opposed to like just little strokes. Alright, so my drawing is officially erased or painted over like more than 50% now. Alright, so there's a little bit of, it's simple, but it's elaborate work because you have to work this way, like there's a lot of paint mixture happening on the canvas itself. And because of the texture, it feels like it, because of the brush strokes, it feels like the sky has texture. At least that's the feeling, right? That it seems. Right. So let me see. Right. That's because it's dry brush, right? If it was wet brush, it would be smooth, but it's all dry brush. It's quite a challenge here. All right, let me add. All right, I'm gonna try to put pure yellow in the circle. Just pure yellow, not red, not brown, just pure. I mean pure. Yeah, pure yellow. I can still see it. Yep. And you know how on my source it looks brighter? So that's just done by adding like white in the middle. So I might as well do that right now. All right. So since I'm using dry brush, I'm gonna have to either clean my brush without a lot of water, or use a clean brush. So there you go. So just a little bit of white on the circle. Make it pop out a little more. Now I mixed with the yellow, and try to go a little wider so you can cover the pencil markings. And then, if you notice, you can do white and yellow to have like a light yellow around the sun. My white is making this look really pasty, but so I'm gonna add more yellow. So we're mixing on the canvas, guys, with this dry brush. So everyone's result is gonna be different, just slightly different. Okay. All right, so try to blend that in. Trying to keep the lines horizontal as much as possible. There we go. All right. Here's the thing. We're gonna do the drawing of the trees. Ideally, we want this to dry, right? But we have one session to do this. That's our challenge. So we're just gonna go straight to the drawing with the black, and we'll just start adding. If we need to cover the background a little more, we'll do that as well. But we're gonna start working on the front. So your black paint, straight up black paint for this particular assignment is okay. So your other brushes, you want to put them in a cup of water so they don't dry and get damaged. I'm gonna use black and use a clean brush. Like I said, if you don't have that many brushes, you can clean it real good and dry it with a piece of cloth or paper towel really good. All right, so a brush that's like maybe a 1/4 inch is fine for this next part. The next part is drawing all the black stuff. So let's see. Yayo, shout out to Yayo. If you need watercolor paint, let me know. If you have it, I'll take it, Yayo. Yeah, I don't think I have that much water. I'll check. I have to check, but yeah, we're doing acrylic. We're doing one session trying to do something really fast. So for this assignment, it's a dry brush, just for the sake of like saving time. Like if you're in the studio, right, or you're at your house, I like to use a lot of wet brush for my backgrounds, but that requires a lot of time for things to dry. Okay, so all right, so here's the fun part. I'm gonna start with the easier things to draw. My tree. So I'm starting from what I think is the trunk. Then see my original drawing is gone for like I only have like maybe 20%. I only have this elephant left and part of the giraffe and the little elephant. All right. So I'm kind of making things up as I go, right? But I'm using the original painting as a reference. There's a lot of curves on this trunk. If you're more careful, you can actually copy all those curvatures and things like that. You know, yeah. This. So okay. So here's what happens. If your background's still wet, your black is gonna start getting a mixture of like color and black. So we don't really want that, and that's why we need to let this dry. But if you just come back and clean your brush, the black part will take over. But the black part, it's not going to be easy to erase, so take your time with the drawing. This drawing should be something simple, like, or not as complicated. Like, right, so that giraffe right here on the side, that we'll have to slow down on that part. The tree we can get away with a little bit of, it's not, in fact, it's not even the same. So I'm using this as a reference, kind of. So you can already see the contrast, the background and the tree. This where is it? Okay, there's the smaller tree that's on this side. Well, actually, let me see if I can point at it. Where is it? Right here. Well, actually, below the tree on the reference, this tree is green. I don't like that. I'm gonna just do it black. If I do it green, I have to wait till this whole thing dries up for that to be green. Why? Because the wet paint on the bottom is gonna mix with that green, and I'm gonna get like instead of green, I'm gonna get like a yellow, like kind of like a yellow green tree. And I like the silhouette part of this really good. So I'll try to stick just with black. It's just a minor change. Um, oh, here we go. Let me work on this branch. This branch is cool. This branch is really cool. It actually goes off the painting. It just comes in and it goes off. You can't even see the trunk. So there's just a couple of branches that come in for a little bit, and so you can see that it's looking pretty cool. The black silhouetted shapes, and then a very colorful sunset. Like a reddish, yellow, red, brown sunset. All right, let's see. One, two. Oh, here's another big branch that I'm missing. I'm totally freehand drawing with the brush. I remember I did it with pencil, and you know, it's gone. But at least I wanted to picture like what areas, you know. Sometimes drawing is a good study, even if it gets covered. Like it trains your brain to kind of start remembering the drawing. You know, a lot of the artists will have sketchbooks with like preliminary drawings. You know, like studies kind of thing. Yeah, I need a pointer brush for the edges. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start speeding this up a little bit. So this whole part is black. This the ground is black. So let me start adding that on there. Yep. A little trick that helps is if you blur your eyes, like so you can just see shapes, and then you start thinking, okay, I just gotta copy that shape. Okay, that there's another shape, you know, things like that. Because if you say, oh, that's a tree, that doesn't look like a tree, then your brain starts blocking you from like proceeding. Okay. All right. So I'm not gonna use any green because I'm not gonna let this. You know, I'm gonna work on it only today. So it's black. You can add green if you want. I may do it later, but like I don't even know. Like right now, I was just focusing on the silhouette shapes. All right. So for the leaves, for the leaves, they're just little pecks like this. You can use a different brush. There you just like tap the brush. Okay. Yeah, this seems simple, but it's very elaborate work. But I'm gonna simplify it. Just you know, simplify it. And like I said, with any any drawing. The more time you put in, the more details you can give it. Let me see if I can find a brush with a little more texture. Okay, this one's cool. Yeah. If you start feeling your groove and you feel like, you want to make your tree a little bit different, or, you know, have fun, right? That's the purpose. Actually, that's the main purpose. I think that's the only purpose, right? With our approach here, so that anybody can do this. All right, here's the little bit of a tougher part to draw the animals. Um, it shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, it is difficult, or not. It is a little more challenging than let's say it's more challenging. It's more challenging to draw the animals than the plants, right? Because the plants are natural. But we'll just add paint to follow the shape of the animal. Okay, and not stress too much about it. Like I said, if it goes wrong, we can clean it up and rework it. The only thing with black, it's a little challenging to pick up or to cover. So take your time with this silhouetted image. All right. So this is an elephant, right? And the legs are really thick. So take your time with the drawing. Remember, you're only just doing the shape. So don't rush, take your time. I zoomed out on the image and I can actually see the drawing. Like there's a little bit of the drawing that there we go. That's starting to look a little bit like an elephant. Um, my black paint is drying up really fast. If your paint is too thick to work with, you can add a little bit of water. You know, as long as it doesn't run off, then it's okay. All right, so you can see it's not something fancy. It's just the shape. So there's the elephant shape. I can see it has like a lot of. I can probably soften up the shape just a little bit. Let's see. There you go. It looks very muscular, huh? Let's see. Maybe give it a little more weight. Maybe close the gap between the tooth a little more and the front leg. These are just little details, That's up to you, however you would like your elephant, All right, so that's one elephant. There's a little tiny one right here, and the giraffe. The giraffe's next, I guess. Let me see. All right, so the plant has like not the plant. The tree has plants around it. It's kind of like a. All right, so my brush is different than the one they use. So my brush is giving me the softer vegetation looking thing. That's okay. I'm gonna fill in my branches with a little more leaves. All right, so let's see. So now I'm gonna work on that little tiny elephant. That's gonna be a little more challenging. Yeah, I'm gonna need a small a really tiny brush for that. Okay. So let's see. Oh yeah, my brushes are not small enough for this little animal. So I'm just gonna do my best and not worry about it. All right, so drawing this little elephant was a big challenge. Um, that giraffe is going to be a bigger challenge. Um, but we'll take it. We'll take it slow. So let me see here. All right. Let's see. And then start filling in the shape. Like that'll prevent you from judging yourself a little bit too much. So it has like some tiny horns and some ears and way easier to draw trees than animals for sure. But it's not impossible. And it's like anything else. The more you draw certain things, the more the better you become at. Oh yeah, this giraffe is definitely a big challenge. I'm definitely doing my best here to try to finish within my. Okay, let me see. Yep, the giraffe is definitely the hardest one. Okay, so squint your eyes and think of the shape. Think of the shape. Okay, that was a challenge. I feel like his neck should be longer. I'm gonna leave it like that, guys. I can probably fix it. I gotta retry it again, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna try to work on the rest of the drawing. I may come back and fix it, but I kind of like it. Let me see. There you go. There you go. It's a little better. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to my background and try to fill in um, with red, orange and yellow as much as the color that's you know that you can still see that's white. Now try not to get close to the black because you're gonna mess up the drawing. In fact, I think I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone. What I'm gonna work on is the reflection or of the lake. It's kind of like white. Feels like a lake. So I'll draw like lighter over here, maybe a little more lighter for the sun. Yep. And try to. All right, folks. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Let me turn it around and see what you guys think. I'm done. I don't know how long I've been working on this, but the challenge was to try to finish this within an hour, maximum 2 hours. So let me look at my timer. Let's see what I have here. Okay. Okay, not bad. Not bad. It's not the same, absolutely not the same. There's a lot more details we can add. Um, Maybe I'll add the green. I don't know. It's up to you. If you want to add the green parts of the vegetation, I'm not gonna do it. I don't think it it's I don't know. I just love the silhouette it's hard to see colors when you have silhouetted shapes. So I'm not gonna do them. Um, I am gonna add a little bit of maybe red to the lake. you know, not a lot, just a little bit. That's it, folks. I'm gonna leave it like that. It's not the same. I just work really fast. Let's see. Well, yeah, I went over an hour and 17 minutes. That I see that I've been live. Of course, I did a lot of talking in the beginning, but I can keep adding. You know, you can keep adding on the sky and the. But sometimes, you know, like if you like it, just because a lot of times you'll change it and you'll feel like, oh, I should have left it, and so if you're feeling it that it's done, it's done. Remember, the purpose is just to have fun. 1 hour of your time, and yeah, the giraffe is probably the most challenging. The elephant as well, and the easiest part is the background and the trees. Um, Depending on the type of brush you have, is how the markings are going to be. So you can see my markings are different than the image, and I use dry brush for the most part, dry brush versus I don't know what they use, to be honest. So shout out to the original artist who did the reference. Thank you, Michael Simpson, for sending me this image. I hope you can follow along at home. And there's my number there if you want information about the class or you have ideas about about doing. Let me see if I can pair them up. Well, there you go. It's the original is more crisp and sharp. I don't know how long they spent on it, but we accomplished our goal of doing something within an hour to 2 hours. But we can keep adding. So we're not gonna continue. But that's the result, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Share the class if you think someone might enjoy it. You can add more. I may add more on my own time, and I may not. I don't know yet. But this is it, guys. I hope you enjoy the class. If you want to donate to the class, there's my info there for donations. The phone number for information. If you want teachers for your event, things like that, let us know. Once everyone's vaccinated, we can resume our like in-person teaching. We do have free online teaching for the meantime, but we'll resume our in-person teaching. If you want private teachers, you can shoot us a message. We can work on that. We'll figure it out. Thank you once again, Efren Luna here with the Cultural Alliance in Long Beach with Art, Music, and Culture. Enjoy your weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your community. And be safe. See you next time. Oh, and follow our Cultural Alliance of Long Beach Facebook page and my Art, Music, and Culture page, both on Facebook and on Instagram. All right, take care. Enjoy your weekend. See you next time.